So, good morning. My name is LaMarshall Davis. I'm a student at Frederick Douglass High School, and for my capstone, I chose fatherlessness. I chose this because it's a huge problem not only in my community but in my family. On my mom's side, I say about 50 to 60% of our family is fatherless, and on my dad's side, it's not as big, but it's still a problem. It's about 10 to 15% of our family that's fatherless. And if you were to go to those people and talk about it with them, they'll either make it a joke, dodge the topic, or just start talking about something else. But this is a problem that we need to talk about with each other and communicate, because we need to raise awareness to this situation. So with that, I came up with the effects of fatherlessness. And the definition of fatherlessness is having no father because he is dead or absent from the home. Now, with that, there's two sides to fatherlessness. One, you have a dad that's just not there at all. He's absent, he's gone, like it says, absent from the home. Then the other side is he's there physically, but mentally, he could be so drugged up, or he can just be gone somewhere else that you don't know where he is, or he can't be there for you physically, or when you need him to help, like say at your games or other places. Now this, the little back thing in a way. This is a graph of the percentages of children living with only mothers from 1960 to 2012. Now this is the same graph but split up by races. Blue is black, red is white, and green is Hispanic. Now with fatherlessness, you have statistics, some that are true. 85% of fatherless children have behavior disorders. Those disorders can be such as they have anger problems because they that anger just sits there in them. And when certain stuff happen, like the simplest stuff can go on in their life, and they just act out on that, and all that anger and sadness just comes out on that person. That's something that we're trying to prevent. And 71% of high school dropouts are fatherless, because I found that true because the people in my family, most of them that are fatherless, they have dropped out of school. Now, false statistics. These may be true to the people, but the users that I talk to, this didn't come up naturally, or it's a real problem with the users in my project now. They're 5 times more likely to commit suicide. When I did my empathy interviews and the people I talked to, nobody ever brought up suicide naturally in the conversation that we did have. And they're 7 times more likely to commit rape. These people, the users that I talked to never wanted to hurt themselves or anybody else that are around them. The problem. There are fatherless kids out there in the world. They have a circle of people around them, but everybody in their circle has their mom and their dad and a support system at home. When they go home and they only have a mom, they don't have a dad or somebody who they can go talk to, especially for the men or the boys in this situation that need someone to talk to about those things a woman can't teach you because you're a boy and she doesn't understand everything that goes on inside of you. For females, you still need that fatherly figure in your life, just for those times where you need your dad to go talk to. My solution. For the teenagers from middle school to high school, I've created an app where they can go in, they can either go to their personal journal and write what they want to write, but it's personal to them so nobody else can see it, or they can talk to somebody in the same situation as them so they don't feel alone. Because when they start to feel alone in this world, they have lower self-esteem and they have problems that they have, but no one around them knows what they're going through because it's just them. And then it's another part where maybe it might be somebody fatherless that does have those suicidal thoughts. I have counselors and people I've talked to about getting on the app and putting their personal information on there so they can talk to them so they feel better about it. Now this is how my app's final product will look. This is the page where when you first log on, this is what pops up. This is the breakdown of what the app is. This is the newsletter of what's going on in the world around them. This right here, I know it may look confusing, but this is where I will put videos of inspiration to give them that little boost of self-confidence, my users. And this is just for now. This is where the counselors and people who have been fatherless, this is where their names and contact information will be. And this, I've got to test my app on multiple phones. Now, if you have an iPhone, you can go to your camera and scan this, and it'll bring you to a website where my app is. It's not completely done because I still don't have the firewalls because I have to pay for them, and it's something else. The database is IRL, and the personal journal, I have to work on that, but it'll all be fixed before the end of the year. Questions? Yes.
What are you going to add to your app?
Well, the only thing I have to add to it is I have to buy the firewall and the databases for the IRL so they can actually talk to the other people that's not just in the area, and I have to make it for a way that they can actually go type in the journal. Yes.
How can people find out about your app?
Well, when I'm all finished with it, I hope to boost it on not only my social media, but the people who I've talked to, the users who I've talked to over this whole period of time. And I want them to broadcast it to the people who they know and put it on social media everywhere. And not just social media, I want to talk to the counselors that can help. I want the counselors to boost it to their schools or talk to their schools about it. Yes.
LaMarshall, I love that you have really evolved your idea so nicely. It's been neat to see the development of it as you go along. I wonder as you go forward if you might test it with a small group, maybe even back at your home school at Doug, just so that you have the ability to test things like privacy and make sure, because those are so many of these things that we worry about today, is how do we ensure that the people on either side of the conversation, right, it's privileged information, so you want to protect your friends, you want to make sure that the people that they're engaging with are
actual
they
people.
Say they are right. You want to make sure that the counselors can have privileged conversations. But I think that you've got a really lovely response to it, and you have this passion of yours that you can.
Thank you.
I've always identified with you because I'm a Spencer Jr., just like you're LaMarshall Jr. In doing this project, did you feel a sense of gratitude towards your own family and how they've helped push it off?
I have. It's like with this project, it's usually with your family. Even if I say it, they'll dodge the question or they'll just avoid it. With this, I got to talk to my family and actually know more about it, because before I knew that they were fatherless, but I didn't actually know what went on. So with that, I got to go deeper into my family. At times it was sad, like those times you just want to sit there and just cry about it, but I couldn't because I had to make it professional. And this is how my outcome was. Yes. Yes, ma'am.
I think that you're very brave, and that took courage to do what you put together, and I think it's awesome. I think it's going to go somewhere. So,
thank you. That's it.
You good?
Thank you. Oh.